Drugs in America has certainly evolved over the past couple of decades. Even the way we speak about people who are addicted to drugs is different. When it was, for instance, people who were addicted to crack, that was an epidemic. But people who are addicted to fentanyl is a crisis. They are under the auspices of preventing drugs from getting to America's shores. They're blowing up boats. They're interdicting and blowing up boats in the Caribbean. People who were addicted to crack just went to jail. My, the war on drugs certainly looks different these days. So suffice it to say that the war on drugs in America has certainly evolved over the past couple of decades. Even the way we speak about people who are addicted to drugs is different. When it was, for instance, people who were addicted to crack, that was an epidemic. But people who are addicted to fentanyl is a crisis. They are under the auspices of preventing drugs from getting to America's shores. They're blowing up boats. They're interdicting and blowing up boats in the Caribbean. People who were addicted to crack just went to jail. My, the war on drugs certainly looks different these days. So suffice it to say that
I know I gotta be way up, filling with the venom, cause this ain't playing.
I sent him a 16-bar verse. He sent me back a 44-bar verse.
You ain't the real Slim Shady. Sit your ass down.
I'm like, you're not busting my on my records. I sent him back a 50-bar verse. And then he sends me back a 66-bar verse.
He the type of nigga that when you finish the song, he'll go back in and change and do 4 more bars. You be like, you cheating, man. Why you get 4 more bars in with him? You motherfucker, you already done cut my head off. Now you going in for 4 more bars? And he just... That's
the level of love that we both have for the competitive nature and just being great sportsmen.
I love that.
When I rap with Eminem...
Snoop Dogg, someone who spoke very strongly against Donald Trump back in 2017, recently performed at Trump's pre-inaugural crypto ball. Yes, you heard that right.
We gotta learn to pick each other up instead of pulling each other down. That's what we great at as black people. We great at tearing each other down.
The same Snoop Dogg who once mocked Trump in a music video is now performing at an event celebrating him. And when people started reacting to it, things got heated fast. Even veteran comedian and radio host DL Hugley had something to say, and he didn't hold anything back. The tension between Snoop Dogg and DL Hugley has become the center of conversation, and the reactions online are blowing up. But before we break down DL Hugley's strong response and the reason he said he's disappointed, not angry, let's walk through everything that led to this moment.
1 minute and they'll try to pull you down the next. But I'm a strong black man. I'm cut from a different cloth. Can't tear me down. I'm gonna answer with love. Y'all can't hate enough on me. I love too much. We gotta learn to pick each other up instead of pulling each other down. All out till you ball out, or till you fall out. Agree a lot, and it ain't always on the same page. Get your stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together.
And trust me, you will want to hear every detail because the message behind all this might be bigger than the argument itself. So here's how it started. After performing for Trump, Snoop Dogg jumped online and gave a message to everybody criticizing him. He posted a video basically saying he doesn't care about the hate, he's staying positive, he's answering with love, and people need to stop worrying about his life. He said he's still a black man, still himself, and that people need to pick each other up instead of tearing each other down.
Still a black man, still 100% pulling each other down. That's what we great at as black people. We great at tearing each other down. You could be up 1 minute and they'll try to pull you down.
Donald Trump, huh? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out of one of you Uncle Tom for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first?
He also said that black people are great at pulling each other down the moment someone tries to do something different. That comment rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially because many black voters feel they've been extremely united when it comes to Trump. And that's where DL Hugley steps in. DL Hugley didn't stay quiet, not even for a moment. On his radio show, he fired back at Snoop, saying that Snoop should not attack the whole community just because they disagreed with what he did. And according to DL, people weren't mad at Snoop, they were disappointed in him. DL Hugley said that Snoop's message about black people tearing each other apart completely ignores the reality of what is happening right now. DL said the community has actually been sticking together more than ever, especially when it comes to voting. He pointed out that more than 90% of black women voted against Trump, nearly 90% of black men voted against Trump, and almost 90% of black voters in general stood together against him. DL Hugley said that is proof the community knows how to stand together when it matters, and that's why he thinks Snoop calling the community negative or divided is unfair. Now, I want you to keep watching because this next part really shows how big this disagreement has become. DL Hugley argued that it isn't the community tearing anything down. He said black people aren't the ones attacking affirmative action, removing DEI programs, or breaking families apart. He said those things are coming from political decisions, not from the people who are reacting to Snoop's performance. DL Hugley made it clear that the community's criticism isn't hate, it's disappointment, confusion, and concern. He said people trusted Snoop because he always stood for certain values, and suddenly seeing him perform for Trump left them wondering what changed. And DL didn't stop there. He even addressed Snoop directly, saying the real conflict isn't between Snoop and the community, it's between the 2025 version of Snoop Dogg and the 2017 version of Snoop Dogg. Basically, DL was saying Snoop is fighting with himself. The old Snoop and the new Snoop don't match. And honestly, a lot of people online have said the exact same thing. Things got even more interesting when Elon Musk stepped in. Elon Musk posted an old clip from 2017 when Snoop mocked Trump in a video, and then he put it side by side with Snoop performing for Trump in 2025. The caption read, "The vibe change is real," which only added more fuel to the fire. People started commenting like crazy, saying things like, "This is wild, Snoop switched sides, and what happened?" And then people remembered he wasn't the only rapper there. Soulja Boy was there, Rick Ross was there, Nelly was there. All of them performed at the same event and all of them got criticized for it, but Snoop received the most attention because he was the loudest critic of Trump in the past. And now it seems like everything flipped. Symphony Thompson, who reported from Atlanta, also pointed out how strange it seemed that Snoop changed his mindset after 8 years. For many people, it's not just about the performance, it's about the message behind it. Make sure you keep watching because the more we dig into this, the more surprising details show up. Some people believe Snoop's decision was about business. Others think it was about staying relevant. Some think he just changed his mind and has the right to do that. And some people think celebrities don't take politics as seriously as regular people do. They just move towards whatever benefits them at the moment. But on the other side, people understand why DL Hugley felt the need to speak up. DL has always been outspoken and he always calls things out when he feels they're wrong. He wasn't disrespectful, but he was very clear. He said disappointment hits harder than anger and that Snoop needs to understand the reaction isn't hate, it's confusion and sadness because many people looked up to him. Now, I want you to stay with me because I'm about to get deeper into why this moment is bigger than just two famous people going back and forth. This disagreement between Snoop and DL Hugley represents something that happens a lot in the black community. There's always this question of loyalty, unity, and standing together when it matters. People have different opinions about what unity actually means. For Snoop, unity means supporting each other no matter what decisions are made. For DL, unity means holding each other accountable when someone does something the whole community sees as harmful or hypocritical. And then there's the emotional part. When people look at Snoop Dogg, they don't just see a rapper. They see someone who shaped the culture for decades, someone who always spoke loudly about injustice and political issues. So when suddenly he shows support for a man he once called dangerous, it hits differently. It shocks people, and it makes them wonder if everything he said in the past actually meant anything. At the same time, people are asking if Snoop has the right to change his mind, and the answer is yes. Everyone has that right. But when someone with a huge voice changes direction like this, people want to understand why. They want honesty, they want clarity, and that's what DL Hugley is pushing for. But let's go even deeper. Some fans believe Snoop's message about love and positivity is sincere. They think he genuinely wants less fighting and more connection. They believe he's trying something new, trying to show love even towards people he used to dislike. But the problem is that the timing and the situation make it look like he's attacking the community rather than lifting it up. And that confusion is what started this entire debate. Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, and Nelly were also at the event, but you don't hear their names the same way you hear Snoop's. And that's because Snoop is the one who made the strongest public statements about Trump in the past. People remember moments like the music video where he pretended to shoot a clown dressed as Trump. They remember his interviews, his posts, his words. That's why this moment is so surprising. And then you add Elon Musk showing the comparison. It almost feels like the internet is putting Snoop on trial. But let's not forget, celebrities live different lives from the rest of us. Their decisions are often based on business deals, relationships we don't know about, and plans we can't see. So while fans are emotionally reacting, the people involved may be operating on a whole different level. As we move forward in this story, you're going to see more people taking sides. Some are defending Snoop and saying he's doing what's best for him and his family. Others are siding with DL Hugley, saying Snoop should stand by the values he once shared. But the truth is, both sides make points that deserve to be heard, and that's why this conversation is so important. So don't click away, because I want to share something that ties all of this together in a way that might change how you see the entire situation. When Snoop said black people are great at tearing each other down, he touched a nerve. Many people felt insulted because they believe the community has shown unity in major ways. DL Hugley brought up the unity in voting, in standing up for rights, and in pushing for fairness. Meanwhile, Snoop believed people are too quick to attack each other and not quick enough to understand each other. Both men are speaking from real experiences, and that's why neither side is backing down. The truth is, this moment is bigger than Snoop Dogg, bigger than DL Hugley, bigger than Trump, and bigger than the event. This moment shows how different experiences shape different viewpoints. For Snoop, unity means love and support even when you disagree. For DL, unity means standing firm and shared values. For fans, unity means wanting their icons to be honest and consistent. And for everyone watching this unfold, it means asking the hard questions. Why do celebrities change direction? Why does the community react so strongly? Why does disappointment hurt more than anger? And most of all, what does unity actually mean today? Before we wrap this up, I want you to stay until the very end, because I'm about to give you the final thought that brings everything full circle. When Symphony Thompson reported from Atlanta, she asked the same question many fans are asking now. What does this say about where Snoop Dogg stands today? Has he changed? Was it just a performance? Does he still stand by his old statements, or has he moved on to a new chapter? DL Hugley believes Snoop owes the community an honest explanation. Snoop believes he doesn't owe anyone anything, and that's where the divide comes from. The conversation isn't about hate. It's about understanding. It's about clarity. It's about trust. And whether people agree with Snoop or DL, the fact that everyone is talking about this shows how powerful their voices are.
So now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think DL Hugley was right to call out Snoop Dogg? Do you think Snoop is being unfair to the community? Or do you think he has the right to move how he wants without explaining anything to anyone? Tell me in the comments below, because this conversation is only getting bigger. And if you stayed until the end, thank you, because stories like this need patience, attention, and an open mind. Keep watching, keep thinking, and keep paying attention, because moments like this shape the culture more than we realize. And since you're still here, I want you to stick with me, because things are about to get even deeper than before. The more you look into this situation, the more you realize it isn't only about a performance, a speech, or a disagreement. It's about identity, about the past and the present colliding, about the way fame changes people, and about how the world reacts when someone they looked up to takes a turn they didn't expect. That's why I want you to watch this part carefully, because it reveals the hidden layers behind this entire moment, the layers most people are overlooking. When DL Hugley spoke on his radio show, he didn't speak like someone who was angry at Snoop. He spoke like someone who was hurt by someone he respected. And that's what a lot of people felt. Because for years, Snoop Dogg has been more than a rapper. He became a voice that many people trusted. Whether he was speaking about injustice, speaking about unfair treatment, or speaking about people in power, Snoop was always loud and clear. So when he suddenly appeared at a pre-inaugural event for Donald Trump, a man he openly criticized, people felt confused. Some even felt betrayed. That confusion turned into questions. Those questions turned into conversations. And those conversations turned into a full-blown debate across social media platforms. But here's where it gets interesting. Snoop says he's acting out of love. He says he's responding to criticism with love, peace, and a calm mind. He says that black people need to stop tearing each other down. And he says he's still the same person, still the same Snoop, still a black man who stands tall and moves with confidence. But when he says that people are good at tearing each other down, it hits a spot, because many people have seen how strong communities can be when they work together. They know the history of coming together in moments that matter. That's why DL Hugley didn't let the comments slide. DL believes Snoop's message was backward. He believes the people were not tearing Snoop down, they were holding him accountable for something that seemed to go against everything he stood for in the past. And the way DL broke everything down made a lot of people stop and listen. He didn't yell, he didn't insult, he spoke calmly and with purpose. He pointed to the facts, pointing out the voting numbers, pointing out the changes in political decisions, pointing out how much people fought together to protect their rights. And when he said that the community wasn't angry but disappointed, it created a moment that hit hard for many fans. Now here's something that most people didn't catch. DL Hugley wasn't only talking to Snoop, he was talking to everyone watching. He was talking to people who look at their favorite artists as role models. He was talking to people who want consistency in the people they follow. And that consistency matters because in times like these, people look to voices like Snoop's to guide them. So when Snoop appears to switch sides, even if he didn't mean to make it political, it brings a wave of confusion. Stay with me because this next part might change how you see both men. One thing that often gets lost in the noise is that Snoop and DL Hugley both come from places where survival, growth, and evolution shaped who they are today. Both men have lived through changes, losses, wins, and moments of clarity. That means both men know what it feels like to be in the spotlight and have millions of eyes judging every move. So when they speak from real-life experience, not from a scripted place. That's why this conversation feels so real. And let's not forget the other cast members in this story. Soulja Boy was there performing, Rick Ross was there performing, Nelly was there performing, and they all got some level of backlash. But none of them received the same spotlight as Snoop because their history with Donald Trump is different. They didn't make the same sharp statements Snoop made before. They didn't mock Trump in videos. They didn't post long messages telling people to stay away from him. So naturally, the attention falls on the one person who spoke the loudest in the past. And then you have Elon Musk, who took the moment and turned it into a viral comparison. His comment, "The vibe change is real," made the whole thing even bigger. It didn't just stay in the entertainment world, it crossed over into tech conversations, political conversations, and even discussions about public image. Elon Musk mentioning Snoop changes the scale of the topic because Musk's platform is massive. Millions of people who don't even follow hip-hop ended up seeing the Snoop clip simply because Musk posted it. That added a layer of pressure on Snoop because now the story moved beyond the music world. The interesting part is that Snoop didn't respond to DL Hugley directly. He stayed quiet after DL's breakdown went viral, and that silence created more questions. Some fans took it as Snoop choosing peace, some took it as Snoop ignoring the criticism, some took it as Snoop not wanting to explain himself, and some feel Snoop might still respond later, but right now, the silence speaks louder than words. As this drama continues to grow, it becomes clear that there is a bigger conversation here about trust. When fans follow an artist for years, they feel like they know them. They feel like they understand what the artist stands for. So when an artist does something unexpected, the reaction is emotional. It's not just entertainment, it feels personal. People want to know why. They want to feel connected. They want to feel like the person they looked up to is still the same. That's why DL Hugley's message hit so hard. It wasn't about tearing Snoop down, it was about trying to remind him of who he has been for so long. Stay with me because this part of the story might be the most important one. When artists grow, their audience grows with them. But at the same time, artists can take turns their fans don't understand. That doesn't always mean the artist is wrong. It doesn't mean the fans are wrong either. It means people change. But the question is, how do you communicate that change? Some people change quietly, some people change loudly, some people change slowly, and some people change suddenly. With Snoop, it feels sudden, and that's why fans reacted the way they did. Now let's go deeper into the emotional side of this. When Snoop said he responds with love, it makes people wonder what his idea of love looks like, because some people see calling out a friend or a community as love too. DL Hugley said he was being honest, not hateful. And sometimes honesty is a form of love, even when it hurts. DL wasn't trying to destroy Snoop. He wasn't trying to embarrass him. He was trying to remind him that the community looks at him with respect, not anger. And when someone is disappointed, it's because they care. That caring is what fuels this entire moment. And caring can lead to pain, confusion, and long conversations, but caring also shows that people still look up to Snoop.
They still love his music, they still respect everything he has done for hip-hop culture, for entertainment, and even for politics in past moments. That's why this debate is so loud. You don't get disappointment unless you first have respect. And here's something else worth thinking about. Snoop Dogg is not the only one who has switched sides or changed his views over time. Many celebrities have changed opinions about political leaders, movements, or issues. But the reason Snoop stands out is because he built such a strong identity around speaking for the people. So any shift he makes will always be examined. As we go deeper into this, I want you to keep watching because the truth behind this moment has many layers. The reaction from fans, the reaction from DL Hughley, the silence from Snoop, the repost from Elon Musk, the performances from Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, and Nelly, all these pieces come together to show how public moments can grow into national conversations. Even Symphony Thompson, reporting live, pointed out how unusual it felt that Snoop changed course so quickly. And when she asked the audience to think about what this means, she opened the door to a larger discussion. So now, as we continue, the question becomes bigger. Is this a moment of growth for Snoop Dogg? Is this a moment of confusion? Or is this a moment of conflict between past beliefs and present decisions? No one knows yet. And that is why people are watching so closely. And trust me when I say this, the story isn't done. Not even close. So keep watching.
And since you're still here, I want you to stay with me because this part of the story reveals something that almost nobody is talking about. The reactions from fans, from other entertainers, and even from people outside the entertainment world have created a moment that feels bigger than one performance. And the deeper we go, the more clear it becomes that this moment is about trust, identity, and the struggle of trying to stay true to yourself in front of millions of people. So keep watching, because every part of what comes next helps explain why this story has taken over conversations everywhere. One thing people often forget is that fame can be a blessing and a burden at the same time. Someone like Snoop Dogg has lived his entire life in the public eye. Every choice he makes, every word he says, every event he attends becomes a topic people analyze. That kind of pressure makes it hard to move freely. Some people lose themselves in it. Some adapt to it. And some shift in ways fans never expect. When Snoop decided to perform for Donald Trump, it wasn't just a normal decision. It was a decision that came from someone who has lived decades of public attention, public judgment, and public support. And when someone makes a decision under that much pressure, it might not always make sense to people on the outside. On the other side, DL Hugley is someone who has always been outspoken. He has built his entire career on honesty, humor, and saying things most people are afraid to say. From stand-up comedy to interviews to his radio show, DL has always spoken from the heart. So when he watched Snoop's video and heard him say that black people tear each other down, he felt the need to respond. To DL, Snoop's message didn't reflect the unity he sees every day in the community. DL sees people fighting for justice, fighting for education, fighting for fairness, and fighting for better treatment in their daily lives. He sees unity in protests, unity in voting, unity in every struggle. So when Snoop said the community was tearing him down, DL saw that as unfair. But here's something I want you to really pay attention to. Both Snoop and DL are speaking from real emotion. Snoop feels judged. DL feels disappointed. Both of those are real feelings. And when real feelings collide, they create moments exactly like this one. Moments that shake up the entertainment world. Moments that start conversations. Moments that make people stop scrolling and start thinking. Now, when Elon Musk posted that side-by-side comparison of Snoop in 2017 and Snoop in 2025, it created another wave of reactions. People started commenting things like, people change, money changes things, Snoop switched sides, and even maybe he always felt this way. But none of those comments explain the whole picture. People forget that entertainers, just like anyone else, can grow, change, or simply see things differently over time.
But the reason Snoop's change feels so shocking is because he spoke so strongly in the past. He didn't just disagree with Trump. He mocked him.
Still a black
He
man,
criticized
still 100%
him.
black.
He made
Each other
music
down.
videos
That's
about
what we
him.
great at as
So
black
when you
people.
go
We
from
great at
mocking
tearing each
someone
other
to
down.
performing for them, people
be
will
up 1 minute
naturally
and they'll try to
ask
pull you down.
questions. You're going to want to keep watching because this next part goes into the emotional side that nobody really talks about. When a public figure switches direction, fans often feel like they're losing a part of themselves. That's because people grow up with artists like Snoop Dogg. They play his music at parties, at family cookouts, on long drives, during hard times, during good times. His voice becomes part of their lives. So when he does something unexpected, it feels personal. Some people feel confused. Some feel angry. Some feel hurt. And expressing that hurt doesn't mean they are tearing him down. It means they cared enough to be affected by his actions. DL Hugley understands that emotional connection better than most. He has spent years talking to fans, listening to their stories, meeting people face to face, and understanding how entertainment shapes lives. That's why his words came from a place of care, not hate. When he said he was disappointed, it wasn't a random insult. It was a real feeling shaped by years of watching Snoop stand for something only to suddenly do the opposite. But here's where things get even more interesting. Snoop's message about love and positivity is something he truly believes in. He has talked about peace for years. He has talked about unity for years. He has talked about getting older, getting wiser, and wanting less conflict. His message wasn't fake. He meant it. But the problem is that the timing made it look like he was turning the blame around. Instead of saying he made a decision that people may not understand, he said the community was tearing him down. That's what caused the friction between him and DL Hugley. Now, let's talk about the other cast members because it's important to understand their part too. Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, and Nelly were all on that stage performing. They all got some level of backlash, but the reason their names faded faster is because they didn't speak strongly against Trump in the past. They didn't make public statements that went viral. They didn't build careers around political opinions. Snoop did. And that's why his performance became the center of attention. It wasn't the performance itself, it was the history behind it. Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, and Nelly might have done it for money. They might have done it for exposure. They might have done it because they felt like it. Nobody knows. But their reasons didn't spark the same kind of debate because they didn't come with the same political history. Snoop's past words created expectations, and his new actions created confusion. But here's something that's easy to forget. People are allowed to change. Even famous people, even legends, even icons. People can grow, shift, and evolve. But when those changes are sudden, they deserve to be explained. The community doesn't want to tear Snoop down. They want to understand him. They want clarity. They want honesty. And that's the message DL was trying to send. Stay with me because this part matters. This moment between Snoop and DL Hugley isn't just two grown men arguing. It's a reflection of something bigger happening in the world. People everywhere are questioning their leaders. People everywhere are questioning their icons. People everywhere are trying to make sense of mixed messages, sudden changes, and unusual decisions. It's not just entertainment. It's a global shift in trust. And that's why this story is still growing. People are still reacting. New voices are still joining the conversation. More clips are being posted. More opinions are being shared. And Snoop still hasn't given a full explanation. That's why people are waiting. That's why people are watching. And that's why you should keep watching too, because the next part of this unfolding story might be the biggest one yet.